wind warning. Strong winds cutting through Utah today are creating major damage. We'll tell you how to prepare against the gusts.
Healing habits. Sexual addictions are becoming a bigger problem, but there is hope. We'll show you how people take on the emotional road to recovery.
Gas guzzlers. Lawmakers are trying to regulate skyrocketing gas prices. See how their decision may soon affect your wallet. I'm Lydia DeFranchi.
And I'm Janae Anderson. It's Thursday, December 1st, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
Officials in Centerville had declared a local state of emergency after dangerously high winds are sweeping through the state. This footage from KUTV photographers shows the damage from winds that reached up to 90 miles an hour in some areas. The storm toppled semi-trucks, trees, power lines, and forced officials to close more than a dozen schools and parts of I-15. As of 10 a.m., 50,000 customers had no power, and Rocky Mountain Power says it could take 48 hours to completely fix the lines. Bountiful Police Department is asking that people only call 911 for emergencies and not to report fallen trees or property damage. You can find a complete list of school closures on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
And hold on to your hats today. The strong wind that caused all that damage extends all along the Wasatch Mountains down to Provo. 11 News reporter Jocelyn Langford is live outside on this gusty day. Jocelyn, what's going on out there right now?
Well, Lydia, the winds have been hitting us off and on all morning. Gusts are expected to get up to 60 miles per hour today here in Utah County, and as Janae mentioned earlier, have already reached more than 90 miles per hour in northern Utah. People need to take extra precaution when going outside today and make sure to tie down all those holiday decorations.
Leanna Young spent several hours putting up her Christmas decorations over the Thanksgiving weekend. But now, because of the windy weather, she has to take them down and start over again tomorrow.
I'm just worried. I mean, it's like the trees, the limbs blowing off, because in the past we've had limbs break, and it's like if those break and land on my decorations, it will cost a fortune to replace them.
But Young isn't the only one who'll be worried about the weather today. There's a strong wind advisory for people all along the Wasatch Front, east of I-15 from Provo all the way to Brigham City.
You should really consider whether you need to be out there, because if you're in an area where you're getting these strong easterly winds, there might be potential for debris to be flying around or shingles coming off roofs and that sort of thing.
Graham also cautions commuters to drive a little safer today and watch out for high-profile vehicles like semi-trucks that could blow over. As for Young, she is just hoping for the least amount of damage.
Just cross my fingers and pray a lot.
People closer to the Wasatch Mountains will be more likely to experience the higher gusts of wind. The wind advisory will extend until 10 p.m. tonight. Live on BYU campus, Jocelyn Langford, 11 News.
Sounds pretty bad. Is there anything people can do at home to prepare?
Well, Graham suggests that people should tie down any of the loose objects in their yard, especially trampolines.
Sound advice. Thanks, Jocelyn. And let's go now to Sarah with our weather outlook. Sarah, those winds are coming down pretty strong.
Yeah, that's right, Lydia. I'm from Layton, and I've just been getting calls from family members and friends all morning. Trees are coming down on houses. Shingles are just flying everywhere. It's crazy up there. Thousands of people are out of power. News reports are saying about 50,000 in Davis County. What's causing all of this is there's a high-pressure system over Colorado, a low-pressure system over Utah. So wind is squeezed between the two systems and being pushed back onto the Utah, causing these high-powered winds. The winds are supposed to taper off in the next couple hours. Stay tuned to hear what's coming up in weather this afternoon.
Thanks, Sarah. The Utah Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing is suspending the medical license of Joseph Berg. A panel of medical professionals determined that Berg is a danger to the public after police arrested him in early November. Police say Berg's girlfriend was tied up in a closet when they responded to a 911 call. Berg currently faces charges of aggravated kidnapping and possession of a controlled substance. Utah professor Grant Smith's arraignment on child pornography charges are prompting a deeper look into sexual addictions. 11 News reporter Julianne Horsley tells us this sensitive topic has become more prevalent than ever.
Stephen Croshaw was only 6 years old when he picked up an inappropriate magazine and was exposed to pornography.
I was willing to jeopardize everything for literally a moment of seeming pleasure, even though it was not pleasurable.
But addicts like Croshaw aren't the only ones exposed to pornography. Therapists say everyone is exposed to pornography at some point, including women and children.
This addiction isn't limited to just men. Females have this addiction as well. A child that finds the mom texting another man, then obviously that has ramifications. So it's widespread.
After Croshaw overcame his addiction, he wanted to help others fight it. He saw a painting of two canoers paddling upstream with a waterfall behind them that he felt was symbolic of the recovery process. Croshaw says in this painting that canoers represent sex addicts. Those who seek therapy will find light and safely get to shore, but those who don't seek therapy will let their waterfall of an addiction pull them down.
As my son brought that picture to my wife and myself, he said, "I think that this is something that, Dad, you could relate to."
Therapists say sexual addictions never go away, but with vigilant therapy, struggling addicts can overcome this awful drug. In Lehigh, Julianne Horsley, 11 News.
Kinghorn says addicts struggle with the most with the shame that comes with sexual addictions, and that's when they need to seek out professional help immediately.
Incumbent Gary Herbert has a new challenger for the Utah governor's race, and he comes from the same side of the party line. Former state lawmaker Morgan Philpott made his official announcement this morning that he will run in the GOP primary. Philpott ran against Jim Matheson in 2010 for Utah's 2nd district and lost by only 5% of votes. The 2012 legislative session is approaching, and lawmakers are looking to extend a fuel regulation. The bill put a legal limit on the lowest price that gas stations could charge for fuel. 11 News reporter Brooke Martin shows us how the law could affect you.
The Fuel Marketing Act says gas stations can't sell fuel for a price below what they paid for it. But why would a law prevent low gas prices? The concern is wholesalers will sell fuel below their cost to wipe out locally owned gas stations. Then when the wholesaler is the only shop in town, they will skyrocket the price and there will be no competition to keep it down.
It's very important to have that law in the books, be able to have some recourse in the event that there is an unfair situation that occurs in the market.
Opponents say the legislation is anti-competitive and gas stations should be able to charge what they want for a tank of gas. But supporters say the Utah Fuel Act will preserve competition for Utah gas stations. Opposers like Representative Derek Brown argue the law gets the government too involved in the private sector.
What we're doing is we're helping one group of individuals and not another. We're picking winners and losers, and we're doing it legislatively rather than letting the free market make that decision.
Representative Brown also says the 37 states that don't have this law haven't had gas prices go up.
This law has never actually been used. In the many decades that it's been in existence, it's never actually been used.
In Provo, Brooke Martin, 11 News.
The bill has existed since the 80s, and both sides claim their solution is better in keeping gas prices down. The legislature will consider the new bill in the upcoming session beginning in January.
When 11 News at noon returns, coming to town. Christmas is right around the corner. See what Provo is doing to celebrate the holiday season.
An Olympic party. How Salt Lake plans to relight the Olympic spirit and fun this winter. We'll be right back. Thousands of twinkling lights are getting ready to make their debut in downtown Provo. 11 News reporter Taylor Langsford shows us how workers prepare the streets with bright holiday spirit.
It takes a lot of trucks, ladders, and manpower to deck the halls and streets of Provo with holiday cheer. Workers with the Department of Parks and Recreation start spreading the joy before winter even hits, setting up all the seasonal decorations for the annual Parade of Lights and Lights on Celebration.
We usually start about mid-October, 40 hours a week, 10 hours a day.
Twinkle lights stay on the trees up and down Center Street all year round, but to ensure they'll work properly, lights get changed out every winter.
We have a rotation basis, so everything we're putting in the trees this year will stay for next year's season. Everything that was in this year will get cut out in January.
It takes about 50 strands of lights per tree to light up Center Street. That means there's more than 1,000 colored bulbs on every tree.
Lights, garland, and other holiday decorations that light up get plugged into power sources underneath the roads. With that many lights, the work takes a lot of time and equipment.
Especially with the lifts, you just have to keep adjusting it to get around the limbs. And it's pretty time-consuming. You can see how it's just wrapped up on those trees, but the results are pretty amazing.
In downtown Provo, Taylor Lansford, 11 News.
And workers are prepared for the hard winds to hit by putting extra stakes and reinforcements in the new 30-foot Christmas tree. The lights will come on at 6:30 on Saturday night. Salt Lake City is relighting the Olympic flame to celebrate 10 years since the state hosted the Winter Games. Festivities start February 8th with the lighting of the Olympic cauldron and will include other events featuring the 2002 Olympic stars. Organizers of the festival say they hope this anniversary will allow the community to relive the memories of a time Utah welcomed the world.
An elementary school mourns the death of 2 students. A small plane crashes in Seattle, and soldiers get an early Christmas present. Here's your look at news from across the nation. Students at an elementary school in North Carolina are mourning the death of 2 classmates. Ethan Bartley was hunting for squirrels on Friday with 2 12-year-old boys when one boy accidentally shot him. 3 days later, Colin Robbins was playing in some leaves by the street and was hit by a car. Classmates wore green ribbons and left notes of love on the boys' desks. A flight instructor and her student went to the hospital after their plane crashed in Seattle. The FAA is still investigating how the plane crashed into a parked aircraft and caught on fire on the east side of the airfield. Both pilot and co-pilot walked away from the crash with only a few bumps and bruises. And families in North Carolina got an early Christmas present when 60 of their loved ones returned home after a year-long tour in Iraq. For many families, this will be their first Christmas together in years, and it's an even bigger gift for those who weren't expecting their soldier to make it back for the holidays. These troops will stay home for at least 12 months before they're eligible for another deployment. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Lydia?
Still to come on the news at noon, secret to success. The BYU gymnastics team is gearing up for their first meet. Hear what the coach says will be the key for a winning season. Mobile furniture. You can fold it, sit on it, and eat on it. See the invention a college student came up with for someone who needs a simple furnishing solution.
And major winds hitting Utah this morning, but can you expect them this afternoon? Find out when your 11 weather returns.
So Sarah, we've been seeing some pretty bad damage further up north, but down here so far not too bad.
But is that going to continue? Is it going to get worse? What's expected for the rest of the day?
Yeah, definitely. We've seen those videos of the people up in north just falling apart on their roofs and things.
It's toppling some.
But here in Provo, we're just not getting the wind as much, 30 miles per hour as at the most. So looking outside right now, we've got a kind of gloomy day. There's snow on the mountains. The wind is blowing off the rest of those leaves off the trees that we did have left. Currently outside it is 41 degrees, but it feels a lot cooler because of that wind. Humidity at 38, and again, 30 miles per hour is expected to be for Provo at its highest. And what the winds in the north Davis County is 100 miles per hour at the most. Surrounding areas 70 to 80 miles per hour, maybe even 90 miles per hour. Utah County 30 miles per hour, and the southern and eastern part of our state is expected to have snow up from Cedar City up to Moab. About an inch is supposed to be accumulated. Looking at our sat map, we are seeing a storm that is coming through in the last 24 hours. Because of the high pressure system over Colorado and then the low pressure system over Utah, it's just blowing in those eastern winds. That's why we're getting those strong winds, and we haven't had those strong winds in over a decade that high. The last time was about 1999 when we got 124 miles per hour. And so our Utah highs are just looking lower. 30s and 40s are across the state. 36 in Logan, 38 in Salt Lake City, even St. George always in the 60s, now going down in the 50s with that winter storm warning that they have over the eastern part of the state. And then for their 5-day forecast, though, this too shall pass. So Thursday and Friday they're expected to get some snow, and then Saturday 40% chance of rain, and then 20% chance of snow on Saturday. And then all of that is going to clear up throughout Sunday and Monday, and then it's still going to stay pretty low in 48 and 51. For northern Utah, a little bit different pattern, of course. We are getting a really cold day for today with our wind warnings, and then on Saturday there's a 20% chance of snow, and then that's going to clear right up as well from our storms and things. So just if you're still in northern in Utah and Davis County, just make sure you're staying inside because those winds are going to taper off in the next couple of hours. But just make sure you're away from windows, not driving because they're still trying to clear up the roads from all those semis toppling over and things like that.
Okay. All right, thanks for the update. Good. Thanks, Sarah. So the NBA is finally back.
Yeah, Kelsey, how about some more good news for the Jazz?
Well, you guys, it's been a long time coming for the Utah Jazz players, but also for their fans. Next on sports, open doors. The NBA announced the opening of all NBA practice facilities since the players were locked out on July 1st. And tough training. Every season is gymnastics season for these athletes who don't take any time off. Sports is next. Stay tuned. A new accuser has filed the first lawsuit against the former Penn State assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky. And now Sandusky's lawyer says he might have to talk to his client about pleading to guilty charges of child sex abuse. According to the lawsuit, Jerry Sandusky sexually abused the accuser more than 100 times when he was a child and threatened to harm his family to keep him quiet. The accuser, who is now 29 years old, says he knew Sandusky through the Second Mile charity, which Sandusky founded to help disadvantaged children. The locks on the doors to the Jazz practice facility are officially off. The NBA agreed to open practice facilities for all 30 teams for player workouts. Players can use any NBA facility they choose, but coaches and executives can't watch or assist in workouts until the pending agreement is ratified. And the doors opened just in time. The Jazz should expect more back-to-back-to-back games than most NBA teams. The squeezed schedule of 66 games in 4 months is making all 30 teams play 3 games in 3 nights. And since the Jazz avoid playing games on Sundays, they can count on some busy weeks. In their pair of exhibition games, the Jazz will play the Portland Trail Blazers in Portland on December 19th and then head back to Salt Lake City for a December 21st matchup. The BYU men's basketball team bounced back to beat Northern Arizona Lumberjacks for its 5th win of the season. The Cougars took the lead early and forced the Lumberjacks into 24 turnovers and scored 28 points off of those turnovers. The Cougars hit 10 threes, with Brock Zylstra contributing half. Zylstra led the Cougars to an 87-52 victory with a career best. With the women's soccer, volleyball, and football season about to end, BYU fans will have other sports to cheer for, and gymnastics is one of them. 11 Sports reporter Otavio Souza tells us more about their long preparation for the 2012 season.
Most of these athletes started their careers when they were really young. Preparation is a key factor to succeed as a gymnast. The BYU gymnastics team is working hard to get ready to start its 2012 season. Head coach Brad Cattermole says that long periods of training help to improve their performance, and that's what makes gymnastics so different from other sports.
It's not like a lot of sports where you can step in and in a couple of weeks kind of be ready to go. Gymnastics, you train year-round.
After a good season having only 2 seniors on the team, the Cougars will count on 5 seniors for the next season, and they hope to do even better.
BYU is the 27th best team in the nation and finished the 2011 NCAA Regionals Championship in 6th place. Jennifer Lazou is one of the 5 seniors and also the captain of the team. She wants to use her experience to help younger teammates to get better.
It's just being a good example for the rest of the girls. I feel like that's a huge thing that the upperclassmen need to do.
Good preparation combined with good physical condition is the secret for a winning season.
If everybody stays healthy, we should do very well. I mean, I think we've got a strong team. We just need to have them healthy enough to be able to compete.
In Provo, Otavio Souza, 11 Sports.
The Cougars will travel to compete in North Carolina on January 14th. Their first challenge at home will be against Boise State on February 4th. And just an update, the women's basketball team, they're still in Hawaii. They'll play today against Arizona, and hopefully they enjoy the warm weather and continue their winning.
Okay.
All right, good luck to them. Yeah, thanks, Kelsey. Still to come on 11 News at noon, college cardboard. Need a temporary furniture solution for your dorm room? This furniture is bendable, portable, and can even be recycled. We'll be right back.
Cardboard is the new black when it comes to a trendy interior style in homes across the country. Cheragami custom designs and builds all of their furniture out of cardboard, from chairs, tables, and even bookshelves. This industrial strength cardboard is able to hold up to 240 pounds per square inch. And amazingly, there are no staples or glue used to hold the furniture together. The only assembly required, folding it up.
Have you ever gotten a paper cut from cardboard?
That sounds painful.
It's really deep, so I don't know if I would be set on furniture like this.
It doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your 11 News for Thursday, December 1st.